Today on my Super 8, I'm going to replace the fuse holders in the battery box with inline fuses. They're going to go from the glass tube fuses to these blade fuses. So what I got is 3 inline holders here, a variety of fuses that run from 5 all the way up to more than I'll ever need. Some wire cutters and strippers, a Phillips head to get the cover off, and some electrical tape. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the battery cover, and that is 2 Phillips head screws. Number 2 Phillips will work. Sometimes this can be a little tough to get off. I've got a corner chewed out here by the dog, so I'll just grab that, pop it up, and away we go. Now under here we have our fuses. This here is an inline fuse that I put in for my voltmeter. And here are the 3 fuses that we're going to replace, and those are the glass tube type fuses. They're all in one wiring harness here. There we go. We'll do this yellow one first. And what we got to do is we got to figure out what's what. So let me go get a magnifier and figure out what the break is on these. Okay, so this yellow tube with the black wiring is a 15 amp fuse. So I'm going to write that down. Next, we'll nip off these ends here. Strip the wire end. Twist them up. Okay, so now I've got 2 wires here that will run to my 15 amp inline fuse. So I grab one of my inline fuse holders that I bought. Unfortunately, I couldn't buy wire that was the same color as my original, so I'm going to strip a little more wire onto here. So then I twist these 2 together. And electrical tape it. There's one end. I'm probably going to end up with additional wire here that I got to try to tuck in here, so I may end up shortening these wires later, but for now I'm going to use all the wire that I can until I can decide what I want to do. Let's do some rearranging here. Alright, this wire is really short to the edge here, so I'm going to unravel some of this electrical harness tape here. Something that I didn't think about doing, but probably should, is unhook the negative battery terminal, just to make sure we don't have any battery issues. So you take that, get that up and out of the way. Just make sure it's not touching the negative end, and make sure that it doesn't touch the positive either. Okay, so I've undone my wiring harness. Just a couple more inches to give me a little bit more room there. And I'm gonna wire in the other end of this inline fuse. Some electrical tape. Oh, piss. One thing about this thin wire and this large wire, it seems to have a problem wanting to stay together. So if I ever get it, okay, so here's our 15 amp fuse, inline fuse wired in. It was black into the tube on one end and out the other end, and now we've got this wired in here. We'll just get a 15 amp fuse and we'll be ready to go. And the blue ones are 15. Doesn't matter which way it goes. Slide it in there. And you're ready to go. Now what I think I'll do is I'll take a silver Sharpie and write 15 on either side of that, just so I know by looking at it without having to open it up what is in there. So we basically do the same thing with these two. We check the amp amounts on the fuse holders, cut either end, and apply this inline fuse holder with the correct fuse inside of it, and we're good to go. The issue with these is there's a lot of vibration, and people just say that they get less reliable results with it. Here's something that I just noticed. On the inside of this tube, it says 15A, so that meant that that was a 15 amp fuse. So maybe these others will tell me the same. So there's a tip for you there. I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe. I got lots of Super 8 videos. And go Tigers!